Hey friends, happy Friday. How are you? I am sitting here on my front porch with my drink. We're going to chat about Psalm 27 today. It is very humid in East Tennessee, but I'm still sitting on my front porch because I just have to. I love it out here, even when it gets hot. So I will sit out here till I can't stand it any longer. Hi, friends. How are you? Thanks for hopping on today. Okay. I'll set my drink down. So tell me in the comments if you have been around long enough to know that Psalm 27 is one of my favorites. I know I say that about a lot of Psalms, but this Psalm it's kind of one of my life verses in it. I've kind of just claimed it and I've clung to it. And I know if you've been around a while, you've heard me talk about this Psalm. But today I am going to share 5 truths from Psalm 27 that you can take with you into your day, into your weekend. Hold on to them. And when you read through Psalm 27 yourself, then you will be reminded of these. I almost called this 5 things to pray from Psalm 27. So you could take these things that we're going to chat about and turn them into prayers. I love to pray Psalm 27, but I decided to talk about truths from Psalm 27 today. So, how is everybody? Oops. My phone is I don't have a good place on my porch to set my phone, but we're going to hope it doesn't fall over. Okay. Psalm 27 verse 1 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" And the first thing that I want you to remember from Psalm 27 is God alone. Simple phrase, huge impact. God alone. So this verse for me became very powerful and meaningful when I was working through some people pleasing, seeking approval in a very specific relationship, and realizing that I was wanting this person's approval. And so this verse became to me just like this mantra almost. Like, God, you alone are my light and my salvation. It truly does not matter. I have no control over what that person thinks of me. But no matter what they think of me, God alone is my light and my salvation. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. He loves me. I am his cherished child, the apple of his eye. And so I just clung to that. God, you are my light and my salvation. You are the one that saves me and keeps on saving me. It's not someone else, and it's not someone else's opinion of me. So that's the first thing. No matter what, you may not struggle with people pleasing like I do, and I've come a long way. But no matter what you're facing, in our humanness, our tendency is to look other places for a fix, for our strength, for our confidence, for a solution that may be outside of, God's will. It may not be what we want or whatever, but we have to remember God alone. He is our light and our salvation. He is our confidence. He is our strength. He is the solution, even when our circumstances don't line up with what we had envisioned. God alone. Number 2, what one thing are you seeking? Verse 4 says, "One thing I have desired of the Lord." The NIV says, "One thing I have asked of the Lord that I will seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. So this is such a powerful reminder. What are you seeking? What are you seeking? What are you asking of the Lord? Are you asking him to change something? Are you asking him to change someone? Are you asking him to fix something? Or are you just seeking his presence? To dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of your life. One thing. So let's stop looking everywhere else, because God alone. But let's also stop focusing on all the other junk. Focusing on what's going wrong, focusing on how someone else is doing whatever, focusing on the world falling apart, whatever it is that you are tempted to focus on. We all have something, and it's different. It can be different for us. But what if we just turn our eyes upon Jesus and the things of this world? Well, what? Fade. We cannot be fixated on the things of this world and on Jesus at the same time, right? We can't be grateful and complaining at the same time. So what one thing are you going to choose to focus on? What one thing are you going to ask God for? Let's ask him to just be with him. Let's just sit with him. Let's just long to be in his presence more than we long for other things. And that takes, we're not always there. We're human, right? We're not always there. That's why in Psalm 27, it's a prayer. He's saying, one thing I've desired of the Lord, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord. What are we beholding? Are we beholding him? Or are we beholding everything around us? So, what one thing are you asking him? What one thing are you focused on? Seek first the kingdom of God. Seek him first. He is the one thing. God alone. And what one thing are you going to ask of him? Number 3, he hides me. You like that old hymn? I love that old hymn. He hides me in the cleft of the rock. Verse 5 says, for in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret place of his tabernacle he shall hide me. He shall set me upon a rock. That, for me, thinking about the Lord hiding us, and if we think about the rock, the cleft of the rock, it's like we're in this little pocket with him. And that is just very comforting for me. So if you go back to the second thing that we talked about, what are we seeking? What are we looking for? Are we looking for his presence, or are we looking for him to fix something for us? And I think if we're seeking him, then when we think about seeking him, even when our circumstances are not, maybe what we had hoped for, maybe they're not what we had expected, it seems like the world is falling apart, it seems like maybe our marriage, our friendship, our kids, whatever it is. But you know what? In the middle of it all, we can be reminded that God alone is our light and our salvation. He alone is what we want. His presence, that one thing. What is the one thing that I'm seeking? Lord, help me not to seek all these other things. Help me to seek your presence above all. And more than anything, help me to want that more than I want the other person to change, or more than I want this circumstance to be fixed. And as we're praying and as we're in his presence, we realize that he's hiding us. If we will fix our eyes on him, what does he do? He gives us peace because he's hiding us in the cleft of the rock. We're there with him, all tight and comforted in that little pocket of space where it's just me and him. And when we are in his presence brings joy. His presence brings peace. It is when we are with him that we can truly say, it is well with my soul. Okay, number 4, we're going to skip over to verse 13. I would have lost heart unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. So how many of you feel like you've kind of lost heart lately? Well, usually when we lose heart, what are we doing? We're not doing these other things. We are not putting our hope and our confidence in God alone. We are not seeking his presence above all else. We're seeking other things. We are not focusing on his presence and that he's hiding us in the shadow of his wings, in the cleft of the rock. And when we realize that we're off target, we're off focus, it becomes very hard to believe that we're going to see good, right? But when we are focused on him, when we are seeking his presence, when we are spending time, just me and Jesus, Christ alone, then he reminds us that he is the good. He is the good. He is our light and our salvation. Whom shall we fear? He is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? I believe. Lord, help my unbelief. Help me to... My phone rang. Are we still here? Last time that cut off my video. Help me to believe that I will see goodness in the land of the living. And he will help us do that. Have you noticed? Start counting your blessings. Look to him, God alone. Seek his presence above whatever else you're fixated on. And you know what? He begins to show us the good. I believe, Lord, help my unbelief. Even if you have to say this verse out loud. God, I'm losing heart. Help me here. Help me to believe that I will see goodness, your goodness, in the land of the living. And the last truth number 5, as I wait on you, you strengthen me. So this whole psalm is wrapped up in this notion that Christ alone, he is my light and my salvation. I want to seek his presence above all else. I want the gift of him more than I want the gift of what I want him to do in my life. And that's hard. Do we want the gift more than we want the giver? Do we want him to change things more than we want his presence? So Christ alone, what one thing are you asking of the Lord? What one thing are you seeking? Are you seeking him above all else? And he's hiding you. As you spend time in his presence, he's hiding you in the cleft of the rock. Pray for that belief. Choose that belief. Ask and speak truth. And that's going to help the belief be cemented in your heart, right? A lot of times we have it here. I'm like, yes, God, I believe your word. But sometimes we need help getting it to sink in our heart, right? But as we wait on him, as we seek his presence, as we seek him above all else, and remind our hearts, preach the gospel to our hearts that Christ alone is our light and our salvation. As we wait on him, what does he do? He strengthens us. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he will strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Wait on him alone. He alone is our light and our salvation. His presence fills us with peace and with joy. And we can believe as we spend time in his presence that we will see his goodness. And as we wait on him and as we wait on him alone, he strengthens us. Wait, I say, on the Lord. All right. I love you guys. I hope you have a great weekend.